Man, what's going on, you guys? This is Madam, and I'm coming back to you once again. This time we're going to go over to Irish Star. This is about the fight with Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. It says Katie Taylor to be suspended from boxing after controversial Amanda Serrano win. I will list the article writer and all of the details in the description as I always do. And it says Katie Taylor is set to be suspended for at least 30 days following her controversial win over Amanda Serrano. The 38-year-old successfully defeated her WBA, WBC, IBF, WBO, and IBO light welterweight titles against Serrano on Friday evening via unanimous decision as the co-main event of Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. But the contest at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas wasn't without its twists and turns. The champion and the challenger put on a gripping display over the course of a full 10 rounds before Taylor was given a 95-94 unanimous decision by all three ringside judges. However, the 36-year-old Serrano felt hard, done by due to the fact that her opponent was deducted a point due to the headbutt in the 8th round, which further opened up a horrific cut from a clash of heads earlier. Speaking in the ring after the bout, Serrano said, "I knew when it went to the judges, it was going to be a little shady. Listen, I chose to fight. I went up 3 divisions. I lost in 2. I dared to be great tonight. I am the featherweight champion of the world. I want to be great. I only fight the best. It is what it is. I'm a featherweight. Every time you get a cut, it hurts. You get blood in your eye." She kept headbutting me. But we knew that from the very beginning, the fight was the first fight. It was not my fight. She did it with Chantel Cameron. Taylor refuted claims of dirty tactics during the post-fight presser, explaining it was completely accidental. No, it wasn't. It's a pattern. It wasn't accidental at all by any means. They're calling me a dirty fighter, and you are, and she is, and whatever, but that wasn't purposely done. Yes, it was. Obviously, I'm in there fighting like she is, and it's a rough sport. Sometimes you get those head clashes. You have to fight through those things. This is the fight game. Now, I just want to put my own personal opinion into this part before I continue with the article. By no means did it was a mistake. She did that more than one time. I sat up here and watched the fight, and it was like, side note, that was the best fight of the evening. I will tell you my opinion on the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight after this. But as far as Serrano and Taylor is concerned, she deliberately kept headbutting this girl. She has a pattern of doing this with other people that she has fought, and she's a dirty fighter. Her being suspended for 30 days should have been more. She should have, they only took a point away from one headbutt. When she had at least headbutted her at least 4 times, I believe more points should have been taken away. The ref was standing there in full view. He saw the same thing we saw, but up close and personal. He's seen it. He warned her, and she continued to do it. So, it's if her saying that it was accidental. No, it wasn't. She continued to do it. She's a dirty fighter. She should be suspended. She should have had something, a title snatched away from her. And, it should be an investigation. It should definitely be a review of that fight in totality and all of the fights where her opponent sustained these nasty cuts over their head and things of that. That's the only thing that she perfected in that fight is opening up a cut and then, focusing on that cut to essentially disable her opponent. But, going to the guys, oh, it was accidental. No, it wasn't. She was doing it on purpose. She was purposely she was doing it so much. I was watching a fight with my daughter, and my daughter kept saying, did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see it? Did you see it? I was like, yeah, I see it. And she just kept pointing out every time this girl would lean into Serrano and, just focusing on that cut. But yeah, let's continue with the article. Both Taylor and Serrano will be suspended by the Texas Department of License and Regulations for at least 30 days after the bout, which insists that all fighters shall receive a mandatory rest period of 3 days of rest for each round fought, with at least a 7-day mandatory minimum rest period. And that's the same thing that they ruled for Jake Paul and Tyson as well. As the two went a full 10 rounds, they will now be out of action for at least a month, although they could be out longer depending on any injuries that may have endured during the bout. That's because the TDLR adds any medical suspensions will be based on the physician's recommendations. Friday's bout was not the first time that the two women had met in the square circle, with Taylor previously defending her lightweight titles over Serrano at Madison Square Garden in April of 2022. A far close state of affairs, Taylor beat Serrano via split decision after another 10 hard-fought rounds. Elsewhere on the night, the problem child, Paul, boasted his professional boxing record with 11-1 after besting Tyson over the course of 8 2-minute rounds. In the main event of the evening, Tyson, 58, looked like a shell of his former self when he entered the ring against Paul, age 31 years old, his junior, and was picked apart at will by the YouTuber turned boxer. Now, see, this is again, this is my thing. Many people believe that it was rigged, not because, and I'm not saying this based on, growing up with Tyson or me having an issue with Jake Paul or anything like that. My position on it is that in some capacity, yeah, it was kind of fixed. Some people are pointing to the fact that they were sending signals to each other with Mike Tyson biting on his glove, but Tyson did explain that he has a biting fixation where he will bite his gloves and things of that nature. But some people are pointing that to it was the code signal for Jake Paul to say, hey, I'm going to throw the fight. There was a lot of, speculation and talk about, Tyson's leg work, his peekaboo method of fighting when he boxes and things of that nature. It just seems like, from my perception, Jake Paul did a lot of running. And Tyson, it's like he didn't allow himself to open up. If you go back and look at the previous thing that Netflix dropped on there with them just training and things of that nature, like Tyson was in prime form. He was in prime form the speed, the leg work was there, the punches was there, it was all there, only to get to the main event and then just for whatever reason, what I'm saying, I'm just not, I'm like, just because you're old, and I'm not, discounting that he has had medical problems and things of that nature, but from then to now, in his practice and things like that, his training and stuff like that, it just does not, it don't feel right to me. You know what I'm saying? It don't feel right. Nevertheless, Tyson got a bag. Okay, he got a bag, and it is what it is. You know, uh, no shade to, Jake Paul or whatever the case. His brother is ignorant as hell, though. His brother is ignorant as I would like to see him get in the ring with somebody and square up with somebody. His brother is ignorant. But other than that, yeah, that was not, had I would have did or paid for a pay-per-view, I would have been highly upset and pissed off like most people was. The buffering and, Netflix, it was a lot of people watching, and, it was buffering. It was several times during the whole entire boxing match, not just with Jake Paul, but also with Taylor and Serrano. And, other, pre-fight things, what I'm saying, it buffered and stuff like that, and it was just like really crazy. Netflix, please fix that, okay? That was not that was not what it was. As for that though, the real fight, the real interesting fight that really captivated people was Taylor and Serrano. Even though Taylor, cheated, she fought dirty. She she tried to be, oh, I didn't do. Yes, you did. You fought dirty. You fought dirty, and everybody's seen that. So shout out to Serrano. She got in there. She definitely gave it a show. She definitely showcased her talent as a female boxer. She definitely gave us a show. She definitely gave us our money worth. So shout out to Serrano. Taylor, like I said, she needs to be suspended for more than 30 days. She needs to have a full review of the fight and fights previous to her where this has happened. She likes to use her head. She's a dirty fighter, point blank period, and that's just my opinion. Nasty. No one in boxing that has trained is not taught to lead with their head as much as that. Some of the boxing stuff that I've seen and I've experienced in my own life, they teach you not to lead with your head as much as she did. Now, I don't know how it is in different countries, but in the United States, no, that is not a part of the training procedure when you're training to box or be a boxer or whatever the case is. And I feel like she should be investigated fully. I feel like it was also definitely some bias there. Shout out to Puerto Rico. Okay. But yeah, I feel like it was some bias there. She definitely cheated. She definitely overstepped her bounds with the amount of headbutts that she did. It's no excuse for that, and she should be penalized for that. Severely penalized for that. But as for the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight, like I said, it's something wasn't cleaned in the milk about that. You know what I'm saying? People can chalk it up to Tyson being 58 years old and, him having health conditions and things like that, and his training and stuff like that. At one time, people were scared to even get to put on the body pads to train with Mike Tyson. Another thing that was brought to my attention also is that they said that they was fighting with 14-ounce gloves. But if you take a look at Jake Paul's gloves versus Mike Tyson's gloves, I don't think that Jake Paul, I could be wrong, but I don't think that Jake Paul was fighting with 14 14-ounce gloves. Mike Tyson definitely was. That was too much glove for his hand, and I want to know who made that decision. Okay, but yeah. Yeah, I'm not. It's a lot of things that wasn't cleaned in the milk. But let me know what you guys think. Drop down in the comment section as we always do. I love to hear from you, so come chop it up with me. And like I get said, shout out to Serrano. She put up a hell of a fight. She showed a hell of a display. It was definitely worth watching, and I hope that she has all the success moving forward in her boxing career. She definitely is a fighter. She definitely did represent, for the females and for her country. Shout out to Puerto Rico once again. um like, subscribe, share, and till next time, you guys, thank you, and I'll talk to you later.